Everybody loves festive football. Boxing Day, we've got a thriller. We've got a West London derby. It's Chelsea take on Fulham. And today we're going to be doing a match preview. We're going to be looking back at Everton, how we can bounce back. We're going to be doing a predicted 11. We're going to be looking at what to expect from Fulham. So if you are new here and you want to join the Mango Fruit Basket, make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on another episode. So today we're going to be previewing Chelsea taking on Fulham at home. And on paper, it looks like a comfortable win. But Fulham are very dangerous, they're very well drilled, and this will actually be a tough game. But looking back to Everton, that was a tough watch. Everton made it extremely scruffy, difficult, and we found it hard to break them down, let's not lie. But those games are going to happen. We're still a side in transition, we're still in our honeymoon learning phase, so these games will happen. What makes a good side is how you bounce back from those games. Look when Liverpool dropped points against Fulham, ironically 2-2, and the bounce back with 2 wins, beating Southampton away from home 2-1, and then thrashing Tottenham away from home 6-3. Who doesn't thrash Tottenham these days? But that's not the point. What I'm looking for from Chelsea's perspective is how we bounce back, and I want to see a performance. I want to see players that are hurting, that want to punish and really be angry and get at Fulham and beat Fulham. Not only beat Fulham, demolish Fulham. And I genuinely believe that we can, because I really do believe we're the better side collectively and individually, and we've got the quality that can punish anybody. We've got the squad depth. So on paper, like I say, this looks like a Chelsea win. Football's not as easy as played on paper. So what do I expect? I expect Cucurella to come straight back in. I think against Everton pointed out the importance of Cucurella. His decision making, his enthusiasm on and off the ball is vital to what Chelsea do. He might not be creating in that final third as a pure ball magic manipulator, but his movement in that final third causes the opposition so much problem. So I do expect more Cucurella to come straight back in. I think I would be pretty annoyed if he didn't, but I do think Enzo Maresca's now got a selection headache, because a lot of fans were crying out to see João Felix in that Everton game, because he's a guy that can unlock defenses. He's got the football intelligence and the magic execution that can unlock defenses. And we all know Enzo Maresca likes to rotate his squad, and with Pedro Neto not quite at it on the weekend, Jadon Sancho not quite at it on the weekend, will he rotate? This is going to be interesting. But I look back at that Everton game and think, let's not be too reactionary, because this is still a young side, you've got to remember. Now, what I expect from this Chelsea team, because I do believe there's a lot of good characters in there that want to do well for the club, I expect them to be on it this weekend. I expect them to put out a performance. Not just a performance, I expect them to be fighting, hungry, and want to deliver for the fans. And you can't ask for much more as long as they're putting in the effort. And I see that from this Chelsea squad. So let's just hold out on being too reactionary, because I just think it was just a bad day at the office all round. Everton, don't forget, when Arsenal got a 0-0 draw, kind of expect them not to concede many against Man City either. And I did point out to you before the game we wouldn't get many chances. However, on the flip side, against Fulham, I expect to get with a little bit more room to be creative, because Fulham do like to be expansive when in transition moments. So here's what to expect from Fulham. I actually really enjoy watching Fulham this season. I think they've got some top quality players that might not be there next year, but looking at the statistics from Fulham this season, they're very balanced. Everything, they're like a mid-table side for everything, whether that be aggressive play, possession, goals, assists, goals conceded. Everything is mid-table, and that's not a bad thing, because they've got a healthy balance. And I do think their squad is hard-working, in possession, out of possession, and they're very united, so they're going to be compact and difficult to break down. And when you think of hard-working, I look at their fullbacks. When you think of Robinson, he's an outstanding fullback. His energy is unbelievable. It's similar to Marc Cucurella, and I think if Chelsea want more squad depth and want to compete in the Champions League next year, this is the type of profile they should be looking at. But getting back to Fulham, and this is what I expect from them, they do defend in a compact 4-4-2 shape, and they're very good at getting back into shape. And this is why I think it'll be slightly different to the Everton game, because Fulham are an extremely dangerous counter-attacking team. When they smell blood, they want to kill, and look at the amount of bodies they do power forward, so that allows them to come out of their shape a little. So if we can overturn the ball, there's going to be more room for us to to do our thing, but they're so good at transitioning quickly from defence to attack, and they utilise speed, movement of their forward players. And in transition moments, they like to play a quick, direct, vertical style with emphasis on using the width. They like to get their players high and wide, and they have overlapping fullbacks to create overloads. This is something that we're going to have to be wary of, because when we're attacking, we go to a 3 at the back. So if they do overturn the ball, they're going to be so dangerous on the counter attack. So that is something that we're going to have to be switched on for. And I've just mentioned the emphasis on Fulham using their width, so it's no surprise that they've made the second most crosses into the box in the Premier League this season. And for that reason, this is why I expect Tosin to start. But from a Chelsea perspective, I generally believe we don't need to change much. We just need to continue doing what we're doing. Creating that box shape in the middle of the pitch is going to be crucial, because that'll off-balance Fulham's structure. It'll move one of their players out of their position, which will naturally create more gaps everywhere else on the pitch. And this is why I speak about the importance of Marc Cucurella, because I think he always makes the right decision on when to form that box shape or when to overlap. And naturally, that's going to help free up somebody like Cole Palmer. So I can see Chelsea setting up in a similar way to what we did against Aston Villa and Tottenham. Goalkeeper-wise, we're going to start with Robert Sanchez. And to be fair to him, the past couple of days, he's made some important saves, especially against Everton, that one with his foot. It was a brilliant save, so deservingly, he stays as at number 1. Now, at right back, I don't want to see Disasi at right back. If it was up to me, I would lock the idea up in a bottle and throw away the key. I do not want to see Disasi at right back. Let's start Malagusto back at right back. And then for the importance of the height and the physicality and the ability to win aerial duels, I would start Tosin as a right centre-back, Levi Colwill as a left centre-back. Then at left back, it has to be the one and only Marc Cucurella. I think the game against Everton just identified the importance he is to our squad. Then the double pivot in midfield, again, no changes, because I think these two are Chelsea's best players against Everton. Moses Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez. I think these two are really starting to find a nice balance. I think Moses Caicedo is protecting Fernandez as a protector, the ball winner, breaking up play. And Enzo Fernandez is so good at dictating play. His vision, distribution is always on point. So they've actually got a very nice balance between them. Now, the wingers is where it gets interesting. And your guess is as good as mine, because realistically, we do not know who's going to start. Because if it was up to me, I would probably start João Felix. But for some reason, I just can't see it happening. I actually think he's going to start Noni Madueke on the right and Jadon Sancho on the left. Now, I actually think starting a profile like Noni Madueke in this game is quite a smart move, because he's going to provide width for you. When Fulham's fullbacks try to overlap, they'll second question it, because they know they've got a danger man who likes to progress the play, who can dribble behind them. So they won't get us forward as much, which limits Fulham's offensive transitions. But on the flip side of that, if they do commit forward and the ball is overturned, we've got Noni Madueke almost cheating on the right-hand side, and he'll have the freedom of the pitch to be dangerous. So for that reason, I would actually start Noni Madueke, and I think Jadon Sancho completed the most successful dribbles against Everton. So it wasn't like he had a bad game. He just couldn't find that final ball, that defence-splitting pass to really change the game. But like I said, I would not argue against João Felix starting. In that attack midfield role has to be Cole Palmer. He's been super consistent for her. Just because he had one quiet game against Everton where he just couldn't get into the game, you can't drop him for that reason. Players, especially inexperienced players, will dip in and out of form. But judging from the character that Cole Palmer is, I expect him to step up big time in this game. And then speaking of character, I think Nicholas Jackson is starting to prove everybody wrong. Yes, he missed a couple of chances against Everton. Yes, he wasn't quite at it against Everton. But again, I don't think that's enough to take him out the side. I think he deserves more than just one bad game. So personally, I would stick with Nicholas Jackson. But if I was Enzo Maresca, I would try to drill into him, move. Because at the beginning of the season, he was moving a lot more, running in behind, using the inside channels. Against Everton, I didn't quite see that, and I think there just wasn't much space to do it. But I think against a team like Fulham, you might have that space. So let's get Nicholas Jackson on the move, because that pulls opposition out of their structure and allows others to get into more advanced positions. So I think his movement can be key against Fulham. So that would be my predicted 11. That's what I expect Enzo Maresca to go with. I could be completely wrong, but I would love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below, who do you expect to start, who you want to start, and what are your predictions for this game? I'm going to go for a Chelsea 3, Fulham 1. That's bold and brave, I know, but I got to back the boys. Don't forget to put your predictions in the comments below. video. And I just want to say have a wonderful Christmas, Happy New Year, and I hope you all create a lot of amazing memories. Don't forget to join the Fruit Basket family by hitting the like button, hitting the subscribe button, and until next time, see you on the other side.